Hello and welcome to the Authority of Love. This is a Family Foundation Friday, and as always, we have our guest host, Mr. David Walls. David, thanks for joining us.
Greg, good to be with you.
Thank you. I am Greg Williams, and we thank you as listeners or viewers, however you're catching us here, for joining us and for sharing what we share. We're encouraged by that as well. David, we've got a lot to cover today, but how are things with you, brother?
Man, things are going good. We've still got a couple of 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks left in summer before our kiddos start back.
Right.
But all the activities are already kicking back off.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah. Where your kids
soccer,
go, you want to tell?
What's that?
Where your kids go to school?
My wife might get me
She
in
might get
trouble
upset.
on
Let's
that.
not do that. Okay. I know, because I really like where they go to
Yeah.
school. I'm fans of that. So anyway, I'll leave that to you. My stories could be on and on about grandbabies.
Yeah.
But just suffice it to say, they're incredible and get more so every day.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. They're growing, crawling a little, those kind of things. It's fascinating to watch. You knew it when you were raising your own kids and they were small, but it seems like everything was piling in on you.
Yeah.
As a grandparent, I can tell you get to go, wow, you see them once or twice a week and you go, this is incredible. Look what they're doing now, and you get to enjoy it. And then they go home with their parents.
That's right. That's right.
So, but we love them. They're great, doing well. David, as we start today, I know that our hearts are heavy.
Yeah.
And yet we rejoice on the passing of this morning, actually yesterday morning, Dr. James Dobson, who was the founder of Focus on the Family, and we just are thankful. As a matter of fact, you're sitting here today as part of that legacy.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I know you've got stories to tell.
Yeah. Well, let's tell a few,
Let's do
Greg.
it. Let's do it, man. I love it.
You know what? It's always, we always are saddened and mourn, and particularly for Dr. Dobson's family.
Yes.
But as we sit here, it's hard not to just rejoice that he's in the presence of his Savior. Mm-hmm. And as we, immediately start reflecting on his life and his unbelievable legacy. And, it's pretty broad. But to bring it home here to the Family Foundation and our ministry, Dr. Dobson, through Focus on the Family, really gave the vision for the State Family Policy Council movement that has continued to grow and mature and bear fruit, advocating for biblical values at the state level. And I had the opportunity when I heard about Dr. Dobson's passing to reach out to the Family Foundation's founder and former executive director, Ken Ostrander, and was just being reminded of the fact that Ken went and met with Dr. Dobson back in, I believe, 1988.
That's it, yes.
And with a number of other of what would become the early Family Policy Council leaders. And that was instrumental in the Family Foundation getting started here in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
I think, if I may be wrong on this, but I think Kentucky was one of the first 5. I know one of the first 7 or so state family policy councils that started.
Absolutely. And, just to so Dr. Dobson's legacy, a part of that is going to be that there's now, nearly 40 state family policy councils across the nation. Obviously, a number of other related, both national and state level ministries that he had either influence or helped start. Our national ally, Family Policy Alliance, they rebranded as Family Policy Alliance a couple of years ago, but they were focused on the family action.
That's right.
The citizen engagement arm of Focus on the Family that still serves as a hub for all of our state family policy councils. So, a lot to reflect on. And as I was connecting with Kent, he said, that Dr. Dobson's vision of creating independent state-based public policy organizations working on behalf of families and the values that make them strong was immeasurably consequential.
Yeah.
And that's true. And I wouldn't be doing the work that I'm doing here today if it hadn't been for the work of men like Dr. Dobson laying the vision. State by state.
Absolutely. And I can echo that, David, but I can tell you an even more personal story, even though I never met him, although I was invited initially when our book came out 4 years ago. I was invited to be on Dobson Family Talk radio, and then somehow I don't know if they figured out, I don't know what they figured out, but they said, we're going to go a different direction. That's fine. But I was excited about it. But here's the real story, David. in the mid-'80s, Dr. Dobson, I think, started Focus on the Family at 77 after a conference that he spoke at in Cincinnati, right up the road here.
Wow.
And in the mid-'80s, I was kind of floundering around. I mean, I'd grown up in church and I knew the Lord, but I was not really walking with him. And what started happening, I was actually in my country music phase on the radio, right? Okay, so I'm listening mostly to country music, but a lot of those stations would have his little 5-minute or 15-minute radio broadcast on it. Yeah, and here's the amazing thing, and I think it may be even more true today, David. I hate to say that, but I really believe it is. But what I was finding is when I would go to church, to assuage my conscience oftentimes, but when I would go to church, most of the messages did not resonate. I mean, I knew they were truth. I knew they were good messages, but they didn't seem to make much of a difference in the culture around us. Yeah. And what I was hearing on Dr. Dobson's radio talks and broadcasts were things that were going, that's what our culture needs. Yeah. The messages were more powerful and more impactful than almost any I ever heard in the churches. And it's big part of what drew me back to the Lord, to say that's what's needed. And here now, nearly 40 years later, I'm sitting here continuing that. And I owe a lot of that to his words and his work and now his legacy.
Yeah. Well, I'll, if it's all right, Greg, I'll share just my story of the opportunity to actually get to meet Dr. Dobson.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to be on the program, but my colleague, former boss at Texas Values, the Family Policy Council in Texas, where I used to work, we got invited, Jonathan Sines, to be on the program because of the big victory that we had helped play a part in the city of Houston, when the city very early on had pushed an LGBT policy that was essentially opening up the bathroom chaos issue, whereas men could go into women's restrooms. Yeah. It's hard to believe that battle's been going on back to 2015 and even before then. But the Lord worked through that time and season. The city of Houston actually voted overwhelmingly to roll back an ordinance that had been passed by the city council, pushed by the mayor at the time, who was openly lesbian. Yes. Folks may remember she had famously subpoenaed and gone after the sermons of several prominent pastors in the city of Houston. Yeah. Subpoenaed a number of other things. Yeah, but they were happy to turn over the sermons. No, they weren't so excited and didn't turn over some of the other private communication that they were trying to go. Right. But anyways, we got to go to Colorado Springs. It was after the time in which Dr. Dobson had stepped away directly from Focus on the Family, but he was still doing his family talk. And that was just one of those moments that I will forever remember, to be able to interact with one of the giants in faith. Yeah. And so I do think it's appropriate that we take an opportunity here today to just reflect on his legacy and let it be a reminder of and an encouragement and hopefully a call to action to continue to remain faithful. What Dr. Dobson was captured your conscience with back in the 70s and 80s. Like you said, that message is even more important today. Yes. It all starts with the family. Yeah.
Exactly right. Marriage, and that's what as I said at the beginning, I sit here today because of that as well. Yeah. You're directly sitting and directing the Family Foundation, but everything I've done since then is focused on that. And my prayer is that our churches would wake up to this. Yeah. Some have. I pray that all of them would, because it really is the biblical Christian worldview that we need to help our country see. And so, Dr. Dobson, thank you. Thank you. Comfort and peace and blessings to your family, to Mrs. Dobson and the family, and we know you're resting in peace. So thank you very, very much. Amen. We also have, along those lines, David, religious freedom issue. There's a brouhaha that is brewing in Oldham County. Share with our listeners what's going on there.
Yeah, we were blessed to host a legislative update at a great church, Salt and Light Church, which is ministers in Oldham County and Henry County and that surrounding area and community. and was connected with some folks that are trying to get LifeWise Academy approved and up and running in Oldham County schools. Now, Greg, you and I have talked a little bit about this, but there was a law passed this year in the General Assembly that essentially just put out some detail on how religious release time, as it's sometimes called, moral instruction, can take place in Kentucky public schools. Now, this is a constitutionally upheld program where students are able to leave school, to go off-site, to receive religious instruction, including Bible instruction, essentially Bible studies. This has been going on. There was a Supreme Court case all the way back, I believe, in 1952, Greg. But LifeWise is a Christian ministry that's really been, has a great model of how to do this effectively, building and starting in the local community. Mm-hmm. And they've been expanding, and with the change in the law in Kentucky, they're really seeking to move forward in school districts across Kentucky. And we want to do everything we can to help equip and educate folks about that. So Oldham County's one of the first out of the gate that's moving forward and had asked the school board to approve their plan of action that they have. And essentially, they're meeting some resistance because you've got some anti-religious freedom organizations. You know, it's almost old news at this point, but separation of church and state, you can't do these kinds of things. I mean, honestly, Greg, you're talking about parents have to opt in. This is a program that takes place not on school property, off the school property. Like we know when they say separation of church and state, they're misinterpreting what Thomas Jefferson first wrote about, but
not in the Constitution.
Even if you conceded a little of their misunderstanding of the Constitution, this is completely separate from the public school system. Right. So, anyways, we are encouraging folks, if you're in Oldham County or know someone that's in Oldham County, we have a alert where folks can contact the board. There's a school board meeting where this could we anticipate could come up and have a vote on Monday of next week. And but bigger than that, than just what's happening in Oldham County, we want this to be an opportunity to educate folks about that they have an opportunity to do this in their own school, in their own community. Yeah. And so I'm excited about what the Lord has in store. I really believe, Greg, and there's already some places in Kentucky where local folks have been doing these types of programs. Right. Like I said, this has been protected, recognized for many years. So. Yeah. But what an opportunity we have to open the door to parents choosing to allow their kids to have very strong Bible instruction. The results are phenomenal.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Exactly right. You reap what you sow, and if you're sowing those things, you're going to get good results. So, David, we certainly want to be in prayer about that and stay alert to that, and you have an action alert on that. We had another topic. We're not going to get to it, but let's just tease it a bit. 84% of the sales of mail-order abortion drugs are being sent to pro-life states.
Like Kentucky.
Yeah. So we're going to give you more on that coming up. David, close us out with the family forum because it ties with LifeWise, right?
Yeah, we're getting close. Saturday, September 27th. I'm excited. We've got a speaker from LifeWise that will be there along with Coach Kennedy. Early bird discount tickets are going to end on September 2nd. So we invite you to join us. And excited that you're going to be joining us.
I look forward to it. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for your prayers. Thanks always to the Lord. Make it a great day, and God bless in Christ. I'm Greg Williams with co-host David Walls. You're listening to Family Foundation.